Come on, let's go. Let's give him a round of applause. They did amazing. Like, it takes a lot of guts to get up in front of all of your peers. Like, you didn't know you were going to be wearing the banana suit. You didn't know that you were going to be doing this. Definitely come take a selfie with me and that afterwards, okay? And with the Angry Bird, we need to take a selfie afterwards. We got this. But like, it takes a lot of courage. They did an amazing job. Let's give them a round of applause. Wow. No, I love it. Let's give it up one more time for our mascots. Because come on, that was really good. Again, I want to be clear on why we're doing all of this. It's important for me to have fun. Like, it's a huge part of my life. And think about it from the mascot's perspective. If the mascot's not having fun, you're kind of missing the point. But you also need to remember that something more important than just having fun is having like purposeful fun, meaning you have a job more important than just having fun. That's what you represent. The same thing is true for you, right? Like 8th grade, this is a cool time in your life. And I know a lot of us are like, dude, I can't wait till I get to high school. Things are going to be so much better. But I can't tell you how many times I spoke to 8th graders where they like get to high school and they're like, it's not what I thought it was going to be. Actually, 8th grade was pretty cool. So this is a cool time in your life. You should have fun, but you also need to remember that there are actually two types of funs. There's the negative fun where we're taking advantage of someone else. We're laughing at someone else's expense. We're calling them names. We're giving them a hard time, and we laugh and joke about it. And then there's like the positive fun where it's like we're all inclusive. We work together. And the positive fun comes from you representing the positives. I learned this the hard way. When I became the mascot, about a month in, the biggest appearance that you could imagine was coming to our school. ESPN Game Day was coming to my school. It's a big deal. ESPN comes. They set up a huge stage right outside of your stadium, and they broadcast on live national TV all of the sporting events for the day. It's a big deal. I was chosen to be the mascot at the event. So I got this idea. What if I did something so wild and so crazy that I made it onto live national TV? So my idea was this. I'm gonna walk over to the stage, I'm gonna climb up the scaffolding, it was like 10 feet tall, I'm gonna climb up the scaffolding, jump over the rail onto live TV, take a piece of paper and write the rival team's name on it, hold it up for the camera, and shred it up, symbolizing we're gonna dominate these guys. That was my great idea, right? Well, ESPN Game Day comes, they set up shop. It's like a huge stage, and it's 5 o'clock in the morning. There's already thousands of fans out here. And I'm just watching the Jumbotron, waiting for the perfect moment for me to get up and do my thing. Finally, after like an hour and a half, I felt it. This is it. I walk over to the stage. I start climbing up the scaffolding. Let me show you what happened.
You sit there, you touch the banner. I saw one kid who fell, and he got trapped. He got trapped on that turf on this basketball. He might have to throw it into security, and then he's going to rip up the jersey that actually beat him. Just a couple of seconds. All right, come on.
I jumped off that stage, everyone was cheering my name. Cosmo! Cosmo! I was on live national TV, you guys, I was a hero. And then the security guards found me. Before I knew it, I was in front of the ESPN Game Day director, and she was livid. She said, who told you to get up there? Who gave you permission to do that? I decided to be honest, I was like, nobody, I just, mixing it up. That's what a mascot does. She says, no, actually the job of a mascot is to represent your school. I didn't really understand what that meant. I was like a brand new mascot, I was still learning. She was so mad, she let me go. On Monday, I find myself at a board meeting with the executive leadership of my school. And I'm in trouble. The athletic director gets started. He says, Josh, ESPN is not happy with your behavior. They demand disciplinary action immediately, and they have suggested that we expel you from school. That's what I was thinking. Like, kick me out? I thought they were just trying to scare me. So I defended myself. I was like, listen. I was just trying to be a good mascot, right? Like, I'm just running around getting crazy, doing what, like, that's what a mascot does, right? There's no rules. The mascot gets to spit shine cops' heads. He gets to mess with the ref. You get away with anything, right? He says, no, the job of a mascot is to represent your school. I still didn't understand. He said, let me spell it out for you. ESPN, they bring millions of dollars into our school. And if that relationship goes south, so do all those millions of dollars. I'm sorry, this is $1 million mistake. We have to keep ESPN happy. We have to let you go. Now, I worked really hard to get into school. I worked really hard to be the mascot. Now, all of that's being taken away because I made one bad decision. I'm not even sure why it's a bad choice at this point, but I think that there's an interesting principle there, isn't there? Like, every day when you come into school, we're making choices. And those choices are like either positive choices or they're negative choices. And whether you realize it or not, there are consequences to those choices, especially in like the online world that we live in today. It's so easy to just say and do whatever we want. It's a very one-way thing, and we don't see what happens on the other end. I promise you, though, that there are consequences, that there are reactions to that. So I just want to ask you a quick question, and this is not something you have to answer out loud. Is who you are online the same as who you are in person? Because if there's a disconnect, I would invite you to reconsider what it is you truly represent. Because one bad decision can literally change the game for us. Now, my mascot coach, who is my hero, by the way, he used to be a professional mascot for the Miami Heat, so he takes his mascot like super seriously. He came to bat for me. He simply said, listen, he's a brand new mascot. He's only been doing it for a month. We haven't even coached him. We haven't even trained him. Let's give him another chance. They talked about it all week long. The next Monday, they bring me back and say, Josh, we made a decision. We are not going to expel you from school. We're not even going to kick you off the mascot team. We're just going to suspend you from doing appearances until you can learn what it means to be a mascot. Everyone left the room. It was just me and my coach sitting there. And I was like, oh my gosh, what just happened? And he began to teach me. Do you know why I got in trouble for this? I got in trouble for one reason. I was being selfish. It was about me, right? I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to be famous. I wanted the Insta, if you will. But when you put on that suit, it's not about you. It's about something bigger than that. When you come to this school, it's not about you and your selfish desires. It's about the team. It's about what we represent. Every choice that you make, both positive and negative, is not just a reflection on you as a person. It's a reflection on everything you stand for, like your family, and your friends, and your sports teams, and your religion. Are we representing the positives in our life? My mascot coach is amazing, right? He began to teach us what it means to be a mascot. There's actually 3 rules to help us represent as a mascot. You just learned them, right? Rule number 1, keep your head on. Rule number 2, know your audience. Rule number 3, be the hero. Let's talk about these 3 rules and how they apply to us. Rule number 1, what was it? She's like, yeah, I remember, that sucks. Yeah. Keep your head on, keep your head on. Why is that so important? Well, if the mascot loses his head, he kind of loses his cool, loses his identity, right? I saw it happen one time. Mascot's head pops off, thousands of little kids in the audience are like, ah! There's a man inside that cougar. Did he get eaten? You know, they're still trying to figure it out. This isn't a real thing. No joke, even some college kids are like, oh my gosh, you see it? Oh. Yeah, I knew he wasn't real. Like, it's the first time they ever thought of it. Are you kidding me? Just keep your head on because you kind of lose the magic. My coach meant this literally, keep your head on. He also meant it figuratively, keep your head on. Because there are appearances that you're going to do where you're going to want to lose your head. You're going to want to lose your cool. For instance, part of being the mascot, you got to do birthday parties. You got to do elementary schools, and they are not fun. It's like you show up to an elementary school and the kids are like, we've been waiting for you. What? My first birthday party, on the calendar, it said teach kids yoga for 45 minutes. I'm like, easy dude, I can stretch it out. I show up, and the parents locked me out on the playground. I spent 45 minutes running for my life. I mean, elementary school kids, aren't they like natural born ninjas? I'm like, where are they? They're swinging on the monkey bars by the hundreds. Get him! Somehow they have like synchronized war cries. They're like, ah! Sacrifice! What? What kind of TV are you kids watching? That is not Pop the Builder. Who taught you that? This one kid jumps out of the swing, right? He's like, ah! Ha! And he like bites me. Thank you for laughing at me. I'm glad you find it funny. He's like, ha! Now, to be honest, I did not have fun doing these appearances, but I learned very quickly that you need to keep your head on, because there's a lot of experiences as a mascot that are not fair. You're put in situations that are not fair, that you didn't choose, that make you uncomfortable. And I get it, we're humans. We feel emotions. We get mad, angry, jealous, fear. And a lot of times when we act on those emotions, someone can get hurt. Like, what if I got just mad and I did something at like a birthday party, right? Punched a 5-year-old in the face, I'm like, bam! What up, son? No, don't laugh, doesn't happen. Yes, I get in trouble for something stupid like that, but what does everyone around me see? They say, oh my gosh, the BYU mascot just punched a kid in the face. Okay? My school is the one that has all the money, they're the ones that are gonna get sued because of my decisions. And so we gotta learn to make good decisions, keep our head on. And I get it, you guys. Like, you know at this point that life is not fair. Things happen to you that you didn't choose, that make you uncomfortable, that you don't want. And we really get two options when that happens. Are you gonna focus on the negatives, play the victim card? What this looks like is, yeah, this sucks. I didn't sign up for this. You can sit down and you can give up and be bitter. Or you can focus on the positives. What this looks like is, yeah, this sucks. I hate this, but maybe I can learn from it. Every time we go through something hard, it's a chance for us to learn and to grow. You don't get to choose what happens to you, but you do get to choose how you respond to it. So we respond in a positive way. And it got to the point where I loved doing birthday parties. It was awesome. Why? Because I had a big old bag of skills. I said skills, not Skittles. You're like, taste the rainbow. No! No! Even though like all your guys' Halloween candy is probably already gone. Nope. But no, we don't trick or treat. No, that's not what we do. What I'm saying is, I had a skill set. What that means is, when something bad happens to me over here, I've learned how to deal with it. So I have a skill to get me out of it. When something bad happens over here, I have a skill to get me out of it. All we're talking about right now is resiliency. Learning to get tough. Last thing I want to say about this. A great way that you can develop resiliency is to find your because. Because if you have a talent or a skill, you're a lot less likely to be made fun of. For me in high school, I was made fun of because I was literally taking lessons to learn how to play the harmonica. You know, when you think of the harmonica, you think of like, you don't think it's that cool of an instrument. You think of like the guitar or the drums. This wasn't very cool. I wasn't very I'm just playing, let's do this. Thank you. Oh my gosh. You guys are amazing. Like, I'm having so much. I know I am. You guys are awesome. Seriously, clap it up for you guys. I'm having so much fun here. So amazing to be with you guys. Let me say it one last time, because this is big for me. I don't care if your because is kind of quirky. I don't care if it's kind of weird or not cool. Not cool. Find what you love to do and start doing that. Because to be honest, in life there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be someone tearing you down, no matter what you do. So why are we spending so much time trying to please them instead of finding out and discovering who we want to be? Rule number 1, keep your head on, is all about resiliency. Rule number 2, know your audience. This is all about empathy. So as a mascot, you do a wide range of appearances, and you got to adjust your behavior. You got to change. Like for instance, at football games, we get wild and we get crazy. But if I were at like an old folks home, like a retirement home, I probably shouldn't get wild and crazy. Could you imagine? I'm like, woo, grandma, woo! And she's like, and she dies. I'm just kidding. Grandma's alive, she's okay. But you gotta adjust, you gotta change. So, I told you guys I was gonna tell you a little bit about how I became the mascot. You got a little bit of a taste for it, but it actually goes a little bit further back than that. I became the mascot because I have a younger brother. He's 18 months younger than me. All throughout junior high, all throughout high school, he was a cheerleader. I don't know, to bow to that. Okay, so I travel all over the country. I go all over speaking to teens like this. And every time I say something like that, I always get kind of like a mixed bag of reactions. I speak to a lot of elementary school kids. Every time I say that to an elementary school audience, there's always a few kids who are like, your brother is a boy cheerleader. And that's weird. I'm like, you're weird, kid, get out of here. But like, think about it for a second. Why? These kids are like kindergartners. They're like 5, 6 years old. They don't know a lot about life yet. Why do they laugh when they find out that my brother, who's a boy, is also a cheerleader? One word, I'll start it, you finish it. Stereotype. You know this, we have stereotypes. Preformed judgments that we make on people before we even know who they are. You want a perfect example of a stereotype? Here it is. Sometimes we think that all girls are cheerleaders and all boys are... There it is. Football players, basketball players, Call of Duty players.
Everyone just like
we have these stereotypes. I want to ask you guys a question. And feel free to answer this one out loud. I'm just curious from your own experience what you think. So be honest with me and answer this one out loud. Do you think my brother was made fun of growing up? Okay. Do you think if my brother were to come to this school that he would be made fun of?
Yes.
Interesting. No, isn't that interesting? There was a huge, disconnect there. Face to face, and you can start an anonymous account, they don't even have to know it's you. That changed the game. And all of a sudden, everyone, this was the age of Facebook, everyone loved their Facebook notifications. My brother was actually afraid of this, because there was a group of students who were dedicated to tearing him down. They would say stuff all the time to him, wow, you're a cheerleader? Wow, that's dumb. Wow, you like to dance? Why don't you just quit? And then it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse, and all of a sudden kids started saying stuff like, wow, you're a cheerleader? That's so gay, why don't you go kill yourself? Now, if we can be mature for a second, and be real with each other, let's be real with each other for a second. That's a threat. And what concerns me about this generation is this language it's talked about all the time on social media. I'm sure that you've seen it. You might even see it on a daily basis. I'm a YouTuber. My life is social media. And every time I post a new video, kids from the audience that I just spoke to will even say really mean things. And you abbreviate it now. We say KYS. We can't even say the whole thing. And a lot of times now we just kind of go with it. Oh, they're just playing. They're just joking around. Or we try to ignore it and hope it just goes away. But you really don't know the impact that can have on someone by using such language online. I saw my brother change. You know, he didn't want to go to cheer practice anymore. He didn't want to wear his Letterman's jacket. I'm the older brother. Gotta watch out for him. So if anyone gave him a hard time, I'm like, hey, don't mess with my bro, man, and I'll punch you in the face. Because I'm huge. Right? You see that? I don't know why you're cheering so much. He's like, yeah, I love his muscles. I don't know what that's about. Okay. Nah, dude, I'm more like a chihuahua. Like, come on, I'll bite your ankles. Let's go. Well, here's what happened. We moved out to college together, and I remember there was a flyer on the wall that said cheer tryouts are right around the corner. I was so excited for my brother. I went running back to our dorm. I busted open the door. I was like, bro, cheer tryouts, college, the big time. Who's excited? Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna try it this year, so it's cool. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's not all good because I know for a fact that my brother has found his because. Like, it was cheerleading. He was amazing. He could dance, he could stunt, he could tumble, and this is college. You get to do, like, really cool stuff. Like, you get to be on live TV, you get to travel the nation with the team, you get to go to Disneyland, like, big deal. Right? It's a cool thing. And he didn't want to try out. It didn't make sense to me. So I asked him about it. Like, why not? And it took him some time, but he finally told me. And what he said was this: I'm tired of being made fun of. We've all been made fun of. I think that's okay once or twice, we learn to get over it. But what if it happens every single day? For weeks and months and years? The problem is, when you listen to those negative voices in your life and you believe them, you forget your because. You're better than that. My brother is better than that. So I said, please try out. Dude, I'll do anything. Whatever you need, dude, I'll do it. I'll do anything. He kind of gives me this look, right? He's like, he says, okay, I'll try out if you try out with me. That sounds like a really good scene. No, not my scene, not my thing. No, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, he needs to support a brother. It's just one day. I get to hang out with female cheerleaders, so I decided to try out, right? I decided to try out, and guess what?
You lost.
I was the worst. I was so bad. I didn't know that, like, there's a lot of technique that goes into cheerleading, am I right? Like, I didn't know there was a difference between cheering and yelling. So when it was my turn, I went out there and I'm like, woo, let's go team! Oh wait, that's not okay? The coach was like, no, you're a psychopath. I was so bad. At the end of tryouts, the coach put up the list of those people who had made the team. My brother was first on the list. He was amazing. I was embarrassed. I had completely embarrassed myself. I had packed my bags. I'm trying to sneak out the back door so no one sees me, right? I'm out of here. And then my name was called off the list. Not real, and I left. I totally didn't think it was real. My brother stuck around, he verified it, and it was true. I had made the college cheer squad. And so I decided, let's do it. Let's try it. This will be a fun new experience. And I learned a lot being a cheerleader. Like, I started to learn some of the tricks and the stunting and the tumbling. It was fun, but another question for you real quick. Do you think people treated me differently?
Yes.
I mean, think about it for a sec, right? Stereotypes are like boxes that we place people in. We categorize people. And my box, if you will, was like, I love to skateboard, I love soccer, I love video games. And I was taken out of that box, and I was moved over to the cheerleader box. And I didn't change. Like, I'm still Josh, still doing my thing. But all of a sudden, people began to treat me differently. Like, I brought my skateboard to practice with me every single day. And people would look at me like, what? You're a cheerleader, hello? And I'm like, wait, who says that, like, cheerleaders can't skateboard as well? And it bothers me. I don't know if you've ever been misstereotyped, you've been misjudged, but it kind of sucks to get put in a little box and to feel like you have to stay there and you have to be that person. I say no. Let's break open those boxes and say, you get to be who you want. So you get to be different, and that's okay. Because here at the school, we accept you for who you are. You know, I learned a lot being a cheerleader, but the biggest thing that I learned is that I wasn't being a very good big brother. Like my entire life, I was doing it wrong. Because you remember, if ever there was like a situation that he was in, I took the easy way. I was like, hey, don't mess with my bro or I'll punch you in the face. But does that really solve the problem? I mean, no. That's besides the point. Is this even something that you think my brother wants? Something that he needs? No, come to find out, he hated it when I did that. He didn't need that. Come to find out, there's only one thing that he wanted. One thing that he needed. One word. It was empathy.
What's that?
Empathy, and I'll tell you right now, chicken guy.
My hair just went, it went down like.
Empathy is feeling what someone else is feeling, understanding what someone is going through. All he wanted was someone who understands what he was going through. Empathy is this, walking in someone else's shoes. And I didn't know that until I literally walked in his shoes. And now I'm a cheerleader. And people began to stereotype me and judge me and give me a hard time. And I said, wow, this is what you're going through. I had no idea. Keep your head on. That's all about resiliency. You don't get to choose what happens to you. You do get to choose how you respond to it. Rule number 2, what is it? There we go. Know your audience. That's all about empathy. Walking in someone else's shoes. Feeling what someone else is feeling. And finally, rule 3, what is it? Be the hero. That's all about the potential that you have to stand up. Resiliency, empathy, potential. R-E-P. That spells rep, as in. That spells rep, as in. I love how you're saying it like so good, dude. Like, represent.
Got it.
Represent. Okay.
Chase the chick.
This is my presentation in a nutshell. Every day, you're making choices, both positive and negative. And these choices are not just a reflection on who you are as a person. It's a reflection on your family, and your friends, and your sports team, and your religion. When we choose to represent the positives, we will create not only a better life for ourselves, but a better school environment where we can all learn and grow together. And that's it. You guys are awesome. Let's do one last beatbox. Any fans of dubstep out there? Any of you guys like definitely listen to dubstep? Okay. How many of you have no idea what dubstep is? All right, you're about to find out. Here we go. I forgot. I feel like we need to have like one last vlog moment. Okay? If you guys want to check out my channel, if you haven't yet, let me just put this up here. It's just my name, Josh Drean. You can see my vlogs. I'm featuring your school, so we get to watch the vlog of your school. It's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about it. And this is my Instagram. This is my Snapchat. This is my Musical.ly. So whatever you want, if you want to check it out. So here we go. We're gonna do this like first person. You know what I'm saying? You guys want to do the wave? All right, let's do the wave. We gotta do this quick because I'm already over time. We're gonna start on this end. We're gonna go to the other side. Are you ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Also, tonight at 6 p.m., we are doing a parents' presentation right here in this room. So go home and tell your parents about it. Tell them to come out. Do this for me, okay? Go home and be like, you guys, I met a guy today. He likes cats. He makes chicken noises. You gotta go. And then just leave it at that. It's stupid to do it. 6 p.m. in this room. I would love to see your parents there tonight. We'll see you there. One last thing. Did you guys have fun today? I love it. If you had fun, do me a huge favor. We need to thank the principal, the support staff, the teachers. They found me and brought me in. Let's give them all a round of applause. Thank you so much for all the great work that you guys do. You're the true heroes. We love you very much. You know I love you. Let's close this out. Here we go.
Sit down.
Are you ready? Yep. Get. Faster.